Hello, this is Jan Ketil Rød. I'm going to show you some of the things you can do with three-dimensional data in ArcScene, which is open here already, but you will find it here down to the left. If you find the ArcGIS installation, you find it among the many things here. Here is ArcScene, and just click on this and eventually ArcScene will open. And I'll open it here with an empty document, so you may think it seems a little bit like ArcMap. It has the menu bars and the toolbars, and you can show then data very similarly, having a table of content, etc. So what we do now, we're going to enter a digital elevation model. So I just drag and drop it from the Arc catalog, and we have some buildings which we will see the exposure of, and we have from the Python script generated a simulated sea level rise of 1.5 meter, which is also then put into the view. So this is then all showing very flat. This toolbar here is special for ArcScene, and by default this is the navigate tool, which is set by default, and this you can use to sort of move around the data which you have open. As you can see now, things are very flat. Although we have elevation values here, this is not well being shown. So this needs to be set. So this is done by double clicking the features in the table of content. Very similar as in ArcMap, you can set some layer properties. And we need to activate, if needed, the base height tab. And here we see that elevation from surface is set to no elevation value from surface, and this is why we see the features here then as flat. But if we indicate here that the ArcScene software should then read the set values from the digital elevation model, which is the same which we open here, it will do so. So this will then change the view, where we actually see some effects of elevation here. And this actually has to be done also on these features here. These are now still showed as flat, but we can similarly go into properties of these, activate the base height tab, and say that these two should be floating on top of the digital elevation model. So there was the building, and we do the same with sea level rise of 1.5 meter. Now, of course, you may want to change the color. This is done rather similarly as in ArcGIS. So this sea level rise, we can put it at the blue, and buildings we may want to have a sort of pink thing here. So then this is then showed floating on top of the surface. Still, the effect is maybe not as you may want it to be. So it's rather common to exaggerate the vertical dimension. So this can be done by entering the scene properties, right-clicking on scene layers, and then this could be set here a vertical exaggeration, and it's rather common to set this as 1.5. So that's mean all heights are then multiplied with a factor of 1.5, and it creates a little bit more vertical effect. So the three-dimensional view is becoming more evident. You may also want to change the symbolization of the digital elevation model. So this is nice to sort of show then as maybe as classified into some 10 or more classes, and where the graphics, what I like is the brown to blue green diverging, and then flip this color range so that the blue colors are the one which is lower. Didn't really like this, so I'll classify this into equal interval, maybe giving a little bit better view. Not, well, not so much, but anyway, you can play around with this as you like it. Now another thing you may want to do, maybe we should actually also entering the fjord so we see the difference with the sea level rise being added. So put this down below, and also remember to say that this should also be floating on the digital elevation model. So we can see then the effect of the added effect of 1.5 sea meter rise of these two together. Now you can play around with symbolization as this as you want to. There are many options you can do to sort of make this a little bit more nice. But what I also wanted to show you is the building features, because they are then, although they are floating on top of the digital elevation model, they are rather still flat. So this is something you can do with these, entering the properties here. There is an ability here to choose extrusion, and here we can set then the, I think we need to click on this, and we can, hopefully there are some height information in the attribute of the building. Let's see if this will give an effect of rising the buildings. Yeah, so here we got that these buildings here will be extruded also, so they will be elevated up to the height information which is stored in the attribute table of the buildings. And then we can actually then go in and see, if we want to navigate a little bit more around, you can actually see which of these buildings will be affected by 1.5 meter sea level rise. So you see there are some places where evidently some buildings are being affected by this sea level rise. As in ArcGIS or ArcMap, you can even do a selection by location by combining them. So selecting all buildings which are intersecting the sea level rise here. If we apply this, these should be highlighted. So now we are getting these sort of highlighted, all those buildings here. So one last thing you may want to do to make it appear a little bit better, if we could actually modify this to set as transparent. Maybe a 60% transparency would be good, so we will actually see the below elements. Didn't have the very good effect, but you can play around with this as well. Change the coloring here maybe to make it appear as you like. So have fun with that.